Hey guys, David here, and what is going on? So today I have my 10x hat, as you can see, because I'm going to be talking about Grant Cardone's 10x Growth Conference 3 that happened in Miami February 1st to the 3rd. And the reason I want to talk about this, and I was going to do a big review, but I decided, I'm just going to keep it like this. And I was like, because I didn't have enough time to go through all of it, and it's already been almost a month, so I was like, you know what, I gotta get a video out talking about my honest review of the 10x Growth Conference. So I just honestly gotta say, right off the bat, it was an amazing experience. Like, I highly recommend you guys join us for GrowthCon 4. He apparently already has location and dates. He hasn't released them just yet, but he's already selling his tickets at like a pre-order discount. So I highly recommend, if you have the time and the money, to go for it. But with that all being said, let's get into today's video and talking more about the honest review of the 10x Growth Conference. So we flight in, and for those of you that were following us on social media to begin with, so we basically had a flight planned out. We had our whole trip planned out. We're gonna fly in with United, and the day before, it was the day before we were supposed to fly out, our flight got canceled. It was the record lows. It was a polar vortex, so it was like negative 30, 40s, and so a lot of flights got canceled on Wednesday, and I think we're supposed to fly out on Thursday, but our flight was on Thursday at like 12 in the afternoon. And so they canceled that as well. They canceled like up till 12 noon. And so those were thousands of flights that were canceled that day, those 2 days. And so because of that, our next flight we would have gotten to Miami on Saturday at like 5 or 6 p.m. So we would have missed the 2 days at the conference. And we're like, dude, we can't do that. I flew with Mohit Patel. So go ahead and check out him. He's on Instagram and Twitter. I'll have the links down below so you can check his channel out, his Instagram out as well. But basically, so we're like, okay, what do we do now? So we're like, okay, we're gonna rent our car and drive down there, because we're dedicated, we have to make it. I was like, I'm not gonna miss it. Every other flight there was no flights at all available. So what we decided to do was, my dad was actually home, and so he decided to actually help us out. We took the van and we drove all the way down there. So it was like a 22-hour drive to get to Miami, but we finally got there. We were able to attend all 3 days at Grant Cardone's amazing conference. So right off the bat, if I gotta give it a rating, man, this was probably a 9 out of 10. There were some things I didn't like too much, but for the most part, it was amazing. Day one was all about sales and how to sell. I mean, Grant Cardone got some person to go up there and he sold him 25 or something $1,000 worth of product. Second day was marketing, which is also an amazing day, and it was so much that we learned. I believe that was also the day Tai Lopez came up. It was either day 1 or day 2 that Tai Lopez went up. He was an amazing dude as well. And then for the third day, it was implementation, and basically just how to start and what to do. So all three days were amazing, and the most amazing part of it all was that it was on Super Bowl weekend, and we still had about 30,000 people show up to this event. It was insane how many people there were. I mean, I can't even explain it. I've never seen so many people in my life before attending this kind of business conference. So Grant, if you're ever watching this, man, you did a really good job. I mean, you pulled something off that not everyone can do. But anyways, let's get to some positives. It was insane. I liked all the speakers. They all had really good sort of motivation and sort of techniques, and you learned a lot from each one. I mean, they all brought in different kind of techniques. One thing that they did all do was they all usually pitched some kind of product, which I know I was watching some other videos and reading some comments. People didn't like too much, but it is a business conference, it is a sales conference, and so I understand that. If you want to expand, definitely pitch your products, because you can't really teach someone in an hour and a half. But it was really, really cool to see all the speakers that were up there, and each one had different tactics. I learned a lot more about ClickFunnels. I learned a lot more about getting on stages and being seen. This is one of the reasons why I started YouTube. I learned a lot about marketing and how to basically sell, and it was just insane. I mean, just what we did just for the economy of Miami. I think we raised or circulated about like $100 million or something like that in the economy, and we raised so much money for charity. It was insane how much everything Grant was selling during those days, all that proceeds went to basically funding charities, his own charity, which is basically helping kids that grew up without fathers. And we had it was just insane, everything that he was pitching, and he was all the charities that we're helping. I think he spent about $10 to $20 million on the event, so it was a huge amount. So, but even then, it was just insane, everything that was going on. It was such a perfect event. It was wonderful to just the mentality, sorry about that, guys. The mentality, the network, being able to listen and see what others were talking about, and seeing like all these huge people that are making millions already, and then the smaller guys, just like us, when we were in the general admission, we were nothings. We didn't have anything, but even then, people were so friendly, always like asking, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And we're like, nothing yet, but they're like, "Hey, like good for you. Like it doesn't matter. Like good. Like at least you're here. At least you're learning." And it was just insane, like meeting these people and meeting some like amazing people. We met amazing friends as well over there that we're collaborating with, and going to be partnering and doing some interviews with him as well. And so it was just insane with everything that was going on. Now, some negatives that I do have to complain about was the audio. The audio was pretty bad. I mean, they did go out the first day and they mentioned that, it was because we're in a tin box basically. And with the ceiling closed and everything at Merlin's Park, it basically was echoing all over the place, and it was really hard to hear. They did fix it a little bit. They started opening up the roof a little bit, so it helped sort of stabilize audio just a little bit. But the first person, Russell, I think it was Russell, was the first one up, and poor guy, I didn't hear anything from that first speech. I mean, I absolutely did not hear anything for that hour and a half he was talking. It was really hard to hear. It was echoing like crazy. So that was one bad thing. That was probably the worst thing about it, was just the audio. It was really hard to hear. I really wish there was something else they could do. Obviously, they really did try the best that they can, but at least they acknowledged it, and would have wished to have a free recording of the event, but it's okay. Still paid $100 for the pre-order of the event, so I highly recommend, if you guys haven't been there, to definitely get that recording. I believe it's $297 right now, but it's highly worth it. You'll learn a lot. And it's just one thing I forgot to mention was I was watching some of GrowthCon 2, the previous event, to sort of see how it's going to be, and it does not compare. The recordings do not compare to the real life, because it's not just about the speakers, it's about the networking, it's about the environment, it's just being around this community, and just the atmosphere. You can't get that from a recording. You just can't. It was insane, everything that was going on. I mean, Grant Cardone, he flies in on day one. He jumps out of a plane and parachutes into the goddamn stadium. I mean, it was insane to watch him do that. Everyone was freaking out. It was beautiful. It was really something that I was like, dude, if I ever have a conference, like, I'm jumping out of that goddamn plane too. And inviting Grant, if you see this, I'm inviting you to jump out with me. But anyways, and then day 2, he had Snoop Dogg come out and start singing for us. So it was just insane, like the amount of traction and all this stuff. And the thing he mentions is that he needs to keep people's attention. He needs to keep the attention of you guys, and so he got our attention, and so our money followed. And it was a lot of great stuff. And I wish I had more money, because I would probably bought all of the products over there. But for the most part, it was a huge and insane event. And if it wasn't for the audio problems and a little bit too much of a pitching, which I totally understand, so really not even hating on that, it's just mostly the audio and a little bit of the disorganization. It wasn't really too much of a schedule. We were supposed to end at 5, and we kept going, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I know where he's coming from. I mean, he's over delivering than what we expected, but it was sort of hard to just have to miss some of the events when we had to leave early, because my dad just came to pick us up. We're just not expecting to be there that long. or just not starting on time, stuff like that. That sort of downed it a little bit, but still recommend, still a 9 out of 10. And if you're a student, definitely check out, he had his student discounts. He should probably have it for GrowthCon 4. I think he said he wants to get like 75,000 people to come. I'm definitely going to be there. I don't care if he makes the next event in Mars. I'll be there. I'll fly over. I'll find a way. So if you guys really want to go, highly recommend. Leave a comment down below being like, hey, I want to join you guys, or hey, I'm going to be going there too. And I'll be like, cool. And we can start our own little group chat networking thing, and we can all get together when we arrive and sort of just talk about what we've all been doing with our own businesses and projects and everything like that. Anyways, guys, this video was a little bit longer, but I really just want to talk about this event because it was an insane event. I mean, it was wonderful to watch. It was unbelievable. I mean, there's not even words to explain just the atmosphere and all this knowledge that was given to us. Just basically because of this event, I got my YouTube channel started. I started vlogging on Instagram and Twitter. I mean, I was all over Snapchat. Because of this one event, I'm dedicated to starting so many businesses and so many things in my life and just going, so that next year when I get there, I can move up. My goal for next year is to be in the VIP seats, to be down there on the ground with Grant Cardone, being able to go to the after party, being able to watch all the speakers. So my goal is to buy that ticket that costs $1,000, $2,000. I'll be down on the field with them. That's my goal. And start somewhere. I started the general admission. I'm gonna keep moving up every year. That's my goal, to keep moving up until I am all the way to the front stage, basically where the desks were, and just chilling out there with Grant and his team. But anyways, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Hopefully you enjoyed this 10X review of the conference, and hopefully for some of you guys that actually were there and see my video on YouTube or Instagram or wherever you guys see parts of the whole video of this, definitely leave a comment down below that you went. Tell me what you thought about it, and let me know what if you're gonna be going next year and stuff like that. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I probably said that already like 5 times, but oh well, whatever. Links in the description down below for all my social medias, as you guys all know. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Hope to see you guys in the next 10X conference.